Okay, we are going live. I'm waiting for Kelsey to join in, and then I will add her in 2 seconds. So, oh wait, okay, I see her. Now I am waiting to see her request. Oh wait, there we go. Here we go. I think we did. Did we do it? Did I do it?
You did it! Get it, girl. You did it. I'm so proud of you right now.
Thank you. Thank you. I know that you have had a travel day, so,
Yeah.
I'm sure you are feeling
I'm looking cute right now.
always. Always.
No, I had to switch hotels.
Oh, no, why?
Well, no, because I didn't plan on doing Pierce Morgan tonight. That
Heard it first, guys. You heard it first. She's doing Pierce Morgan tonight. Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I didn't plan on doing that, and I was supposed to check out of I was supposed to be in Toronto today, but they said, "Can you stay?" So I stayed. So I had to get a different hotel and like move myself, and then I leave tomorrow to go to Toronto.
Yeah, that's amazing. But that's a fantastic reason to stay because.
Oh, there's my mama.
Oh, your mom. Oh, dude, I love that because you know why? My mom. I'm surprised she'll probably chime in as well. I think my mom is legit my number one follower. So shout out to the moms.
Oh yeah, it's funny I remember when my dad got Instagram and I was doing a live for the first time, and I didn't know the name, and he was like, "We're close to you," and I was like, "Who is that?" And my mom, she's like, "That's your dad. Relax."
Oh dang! I see Deadeye Gary up on here. Gary is near and dear to my heart because he is the one that guided me on my first hunt.
No way! Oh.
Yeah. So shout out to Gary and the family because they just popped in. It's so cool. I haven't done a live in a really, really long time, but it is cool to see like the little questions or little like, people chiming in to say hello. But beyond us, we can be chatting like we chat on the phone. But I mean, we got big things to talk about. We got big things, baby. This is huge. I am stoked for you. I think this is absolutely major. Just from, I've already said this to you before, the fact of getting something like this finished, starting, and it was what, 5 years in the making?
Yeah. 5 years from like, hey, I'm going to write something to got it with a publisher, got it out on a release date kind of thing. And it was a very up and down path for it, for sure. Like it almost didn't come out at all. So it was very weird to finally see it like making it into fruition. It was very, very, very strange. When I do lives, I don't get this kind of engagement. So it's very like distracting. So just bear with me.
No, I love it. It's good. I love it that people are jumping on, asking.
There's Dad.
Love it. And Dad, shout out to Dad because he just said, I wish that you can like slow down the comments or the questions, but I'm pretty sure I read Dad super proud. So I think 100% before we dive into it, shout out to the parents because honestly, the parents are absolutely amazing. And obviously they did a hell of a job with you. So,
you're too kind.
But yeah, I mean, I've read this book already, I think 3 times. So I got first peek.
I got it. Yeah, you got first peek. It's your big deal. What happened?
I got first peek before it was actually in this beautiful, like a lovely, mine's in a binder with, the 3 ring and turning the page. So I would say a rough cut and then the final cut. And then obviously now the real deal. So obviously you guys grab yourself a copy of this. It's amazing. It's an awesome journey. I put the link in my stories, and obviously I'll put the link again once we get off the live on my stories so that you can go, obviously Amazon. I mean, you can get it anywhere, but everybody be on that Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon is where it's at. What kind of nails you running right now?
I don't know, but I broke some this morning messing around with the farm. So, they're press-ons, so we'll glue them. I was gonna glue them on before the live, and I was like, you know what? My crew, they already know the real deal.
Yeah, I know.
I'm coming
Right?
up with a couple busted, so it's okay.
I call that when one or two pop off. I said, those are just my lesbian portion. Leave it alone. Yeah.
Exactly. But for everyone that's hopping on that doesn't know a little bit about your book, your journey, give a little snapshot into Brass and Unity. And obviously Brass and Unity is her company as well.
Yay!
Rocking, oh, bam.
Yeah. You keep your tails out though. I can't stand when my tails hang.
Oh, really?
I'll teach you a trick. Yeah, I keep them so they stay tucked. You gotta keep it tucked, girl. You gotta keep it tucked.
Okay. I don't know. I don't mind the tails. I feel like it adds a little extra little something,
I don't know how you work out. Like, you always work out with, like, this is fine. I can work out with this. But you always have chains and, like, pretty jewelry on. And I'm all like, oh, I can't.
I work out always in these two because this bracelet is, like, goes with my mom, and I have the same rosary. And then this one from her. So those are the only two. Those are only, like, 3 pieces that I constantly, and then obviously my ears. But that I work out in. But enough about me, girl. Let's get into you.
All right. Okay, so I'm a Canadian combat veteran, and I served with the British and the Americans and the Canadians in 2009 as an artillery gunner. I ran the M777 155 millimeter howitzers, which shoot a 100-pound round up to about 40 kilometers. You can get it on Amazon. And the nice thing about this book is, like, of course it's a story. Like, there's a million veteran stories out there in the world, and that's the really beautiful thing. It's like, my story is not unique, but what it is I was given the ability and the opportunity to actually put pen to paper, get it out, and so the rest of the world could hear it. The nice thing about the book is it's not just like a memoir where I tell my stories, and it's not just a war book, it talks about my time fighting. It talks about my military time, but it also talks about the decade and a half after the military and how I had to drag myself through coming out of what was post-traumatic stress disorder and ultimately an undiagnosed traumatic brain injury, which I was able to get treatment for recently. So, there is definitely a lot of amazing stories in here. But what I love so much about writing this book was I was able to look back at it and kind of plot the chart and see how I got to where I got to. So, over the decade, I've had to learn all the tools. I've had to learn how to get there. I've had to learn the right resources, the right people, the community, and really, really learn about what's important in my healing and how to make sure that we can heal our vets and our first responders and anybody who has trauma. Let's be honest. I mean, coming out of COVID, everyone is struggling with some type of mental health, and it doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong when you ask for support. So if you're able to reach a hand out to someone and say, like, look, like, try journaling, try grounding, try movement. Always, 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 always movement. Movement is more effective than an antidepressant by 4 times. So, these are the types of things. Eating healthy, clean water, shut the fucking news off. Like, all of this really great stuff that we can be doing, I just threw into this book. And more importantly, community. We fully understand now. There's a really great doctor, and his name is escaping me right now. Gonzalez. I'll tag it. I'll send it to you. But this guy's great. And he put a great clip up the other day, and it illustrated what happens when you become exiled, if you will, out of a social community, and how damaging it is to your body. Your cortisol spikes, your depression spikes, all of these things spike. And so when you're able to really throw yourself into a community and really surround yourself by people that want to uplift you and see you do well, that's when things start to change. And then couple that with other things like psychedelic assisted therapy and integration coaching, and really leaning into these tools. And this book is a guide, if you will, through my life to kind of get to that point. And that's what I'm excited about. It is, not everyone's going to love how raw these stories are. I don't pull punches. Like, not everyone's going to really be ready for that. And I know that, and that's okay though, because we don't all have to agree on everything. We don't all have to go down the same path. We don't all have to look at the world in the same way. But what we can do and what we should do is realize that we are not all alone, and we need to stop acting as if we are. So I'm hopeful that this book bridges a gap for people. So if they know somebody who's struggling with PTSD and they're not sure, like, why are they acting that way? Why are they drinking that much? Why are they doing X, Y, and Z? This is the book for you to understand what people are going through, and it might make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. For people that have been following me for some time, they know anything military wise is very near and dear to my heart, just because, you know, my dad served as a Marine in the Vietnam War. So like from those guys coming back and then obviously to current day is one of those things where, you know, we tend to forget what the men and women went through and what they're carrying with them as they come back and try to kind of emerge back into civilian life. It's extremely difficult. So shout out to all of our servicemen and women who are out there and serving our country, and then as well as coming back and taking care of themselves. And that's what we're doing. And that's what obviously the book, the journey and everything like that, why I relate a lot to it too, is just because life in general is hard, and then you stack on all of these other elements. So it's one of those things where no one is going to come and save you. Like, that is for sure. No one, if anybody that is out there struggling, whether it's PTSD, whether it's, I mean, people know, obviously, you know, I work a 12-step program. Like, no one is going to come and all of a sudden, like, do a little fairy wand and make things all better. It's like you had to actively go out and figure out how to get well, because you are not doing well. Right. And so you have to figure out all of these trials and tribulations and trial and error of what would work for you. Obviously, you had to go. You did brain work with amazing doctors. You go through the ayahuasca and the psilocybin and doing that route as well, that we are hearing a lot more about, which is fantastic as well. So it's like you giving not only obviously the journey, but also actively pursue to get healthy. And so that's really important, I think, for people that can't relate to, say, like the military part. I feel like every single person can relate to wanting to feel their absolute best.
And I think that's the key, right? Is everybody nowadays, where the quick fix is reaching for the pill, reach for the drink, reach for the thing. And I think if we can just realize for a second that we can handle all of these things if we put the right tools in place. Like, for some people, like I know some people who the 12-step doesn't work for them because they're not religious, so they can't like connect. So then they do a different type of program though, because there's so many programs that you can do now. And that's the beautiful thing, is like, if that doesn't work, then this might work. You know, if that doesn't work, then let's try this. It's not like it used to be, where we're kind of left in the wake of our own trauma and our own hurt and our own pain. It's like you can really, really, if you research, you can reach out. Like, there's a million different things that you can do. And I think that's the beautiful thing here is, you know, before you reach for the pills, before you reach for the alcohol, like, let's look at what you're eating. Let's look at how much sleep you're getting. If you're not sleeping, things shut down really, really fast, you know. And one tool that I briefly went over in this book, but it became more apparent to me how important it was breathing. You know, we can go a week, I think over a week without food. We can go X amount of days without water, but goddamn, you take breath away and you die quick, like minutes. So the breath is a powerful, powerful tool. And when harnessed properly from an anxiety and depression standpoint, it is fantastic. So, you know, when you really look at grounding, even just standing outside in the grass with your shoes off, it will quite literally bring your nervous system down, because we are like a battery, right? And the ground is a negative energy. And when you are too distant from nature, because we are humans going through human experience, and biologically, when you don't do that, you get too much built up. So you need to ground in order to level those types of things out. And so these are just tools that anyone can do at any time. And it's not difficult, but this book helps with that. And you know, in the very back of the book, I put some like very quick overviews of like some small like coping tips. You know, I've got psychedelics in there. I've got a ton of organizations listed if you're a veteran that you're looking for support. Art therapy was how I started my company. So I talk about it.
Which I think is, well, shout out. My mom just chimed in and she says, hello, ladies.
Hello, Mama.
And shout out to you, Grace. I see you, Grace. In the back of her book, what she's talking about, you guys, is there's a little appendix where it says coping tips. And she lists literally little that you can kind of go by to see, basically jot down little areas that you can start to incorporate into your daily routines. Like anybody can take a quick snapshot and look at their nutrition. Anybody can take a quick snapshot and see, are you journaling? Are you writing? I used to hate doing it. I still don't particularly like doing it, but I do. I write. The movement is huge. I can't stress that one enough. I tell my parents, I mean, hopefully my dad got his 30 minutes in today. I tell him just move, walk 30 minutes, you know, make sure your water. Like little things like that that people think are just like insignificant do make a...
You mean all of my water?
Seriously.
Right.
That make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apparently my dad is watching as well. He doesn't have an Instagram because it's lucky if he can even use a phone. Part of that old school era. So, but yeah, so it's huge in the sense of giving people some insight into looking at things of what they can do if they're struggling in their daily. Oh, my mom said he did. He got his 30 minutes of walk in.
Good.
But like I said before, for everybody, this book literally just came out hot on the press.
Yeah.
So
what's the date? It came out yesterday. Shoot, already, huh?
it is, once again. Kelsey,
I know.
your last name?
Sharon.
Yeah. Okay. I did it correctly. I always feel like I butcher people's last names, so forgive me, but I did not.
That's okay. You're allowed to butcher anything you want of mine. I'm totally fine with it.
But all you guys have to do is when you go into Amazon, look up her name and her book will come right up. And this is what it looks like. And put it in your cart and you will go on one hell of a ride. That's for sure.
Yeah. I appreciate you giving me the space to have that conversation. I know you and I talk a lot about this type of stuff privately and all of those things. And, you know, I think no matter what, you're going to learn something from this story. I'm hopeful, whether it's like, you know, this book might trigger the hell out of you. Like, and let's be honest, like a lot of the stuff I say on a regular basis triggers the hell out of people. And it's not because I'm trying to, but I'm trying to get people to think differently. I'm trying to get people to look at other perspectives. And it's not that I'm against someone else's perspective, but I'm trying to shake the system a little bit and let people know that, you know, just because we did it this way for the past, 10, 20, 30 years, doesn't mean that we have to keep doing it this way. It doesn't mean that we have to keep thinking this way. And if my way doesn't work for you, that's cool too. But if it sparked a thought, it brought a moment of silence. Oh, I don't know why I thought that way. Or maybe I should have looked at this differently. Like, people have a hard time with how aggressive I come off. And I will warn you that in this book, there's a person called the Watcher, and it's the voice in my head. And it can be a little triggering for people. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a little harsh for some. And like I said, I don't pull any punches, and I talk about the nitty gritty. And if at any point that upsets you or brings you to a moment of pause where you're thinking of DMing me some heinous shit, just take a second, take a breath. And then I want you to realize that normally when somebody reacts that way, it's because I shook something in you and showed you something you didn't like about yourself. So instead of taking time to write heinous shit, do yourself a favor, grab a piece of paper, write down all your hurtful things, and then read that back to yourself and ask yourself this question. Would I say that to myself? Probably not. Yeah. So be kind and know that everyone is going through a journey, and I'm hopeful that this helps people move down their path and down their journey. And if you are looking for resources, if you're a veteran, a first responder, and you're looking for organizations, you can either DM us, we will do our best to get it to you, or you can grab the book, and at the very back, we list a whole host of organizations that are really, really fantastic. You know, in the United States, we work with Heroic Hearts Project, Boot Campaign, Defenders of Freedom, Vet Solutions, Kirsianis Foundation, you name it, we've got it. In Canada, we work with Honor House, True Patriot Love, and Support Our Troops. And then in the UK and things like that, we have a couple different organizations that we're doing our best to get funds to. But what I will tell you is everything that we do, we're just trying to help people. And you don't have to be a vet or a first responder to feel connected to this. You aren't a girl, and you felt connected to it. And it's a simple story. I'm just an everyday person from a small town. I just did some shit and came out the other side just a little cracked, because no one's really ever broken now, are they?
No, they're not. You just got to put those back together. That's
cracks
it.
Can be fixed, honey. Cracks can be fixed. That's how it works.
You just use a little bit of super glue.
That's it. Girl, I love me some super glue. I love me some super glue.
I actually, when I was back home this last couple of weeks back, shout out to my parents. They celebrated 50 years of marriage, and my brother, he works in construction, so he showed me like this newest super glue action that once you use it, shit ain't coming, nothing.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, so it's wild, but
kind of scared of it
anyhow,
right now.
I got distracted. But yeah, no, I think it's amazing. And just like I said at the very beginning, it's, you know, it's a big accomplishment. You should be proud of yourself in the sense of just finishing something like this, putting pen to paper and actually making it come into a reality. And it's your story, your journey, and people get to actually take a peek and see what it's all about. And
yeah, I appreciate it.
What I take out of it is hope. You know, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of, you know, how bad you think whatever situation it is that you're going through at this current moment. There is.
You look like twins. Sorry, just dying inside. Yeah, but she got better teeth. It's all good.
But yeah, but this is definitely a big moment for you, and I hope that you are soaking it in, enjoying it as much as you possibly can. And obviously people are going to go out there, they're going to buy it, they're going to relate to your story somehow, in some way. And like you said, you don't have to be a veteran or somebody in the military or anything like that to actually be able to grab a hold and appreciate the journey from beginning to end. And that's what's important.
And I again, like, you know you're a bad bitch, and I tell you that every goddamn day, and you're one of the greatest friends I've ever had, and you've always held me accountable in terms of like, nah, you need to sit in this, you need to appreciate this, you need to not move on to the next thing, you need to just like, we had this conversation yesterday, I'm like, it's 24 hours, I'm like, what's next, like, you know. So I know you know what this feels like, and thanks for forcing me to just, you know, remind myself that this is an accomplishment. I should be proud of it. I don't have to dim my light for absolutely anybody.
You're going on Piers Morgan tonight. That's huge. Like, soak in the. I mean, I know that we live in a time where it's always like, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's the next project? What's the next this? Which is good, because it's always striving to the next thing. But it's also good to take a moment and reflect and feel proud about what you have accomplished. And this is one of those things. And I think that it's extremely a very big moment to soak in and enjoy.
Yeah, Piers Morgan. We're not going to be talking about the book as much, but I'm got his attention because I'm talking about MAID, and the reason I'm advocating so aggressively against it, unless it's a terminally ill patient, is because if I was offered MAID when I was as ill as I was, I would not be sitting in front of you right now. And I don't think MAID is something that's happening in Canada, and it happens all over the world, but it's called medical assisted in dying. And in Canada, we have been offering it to our veterans since 2019 as a way out instead of treatment. And they got caught last year. And the Daily Mail, I went to the Daily Mail about it because now MAID is being offered to civilians and pensioners who are healthy with just fibromyalgia or just a little bit of depression. And they're offering it to our very mentally ill patients. When books like this won't exist, people won't stay with us if they think that they can just check out within a 24-hour period of asking. So I'm trying to advocate for this book because I know that if you can show people that you can go through the darkest times, legitimately the worst times in your life, you can stay with us. You can make it out the other side. It can take a decade. It might take 2. It might take 3, but I can tell you, you can do it, but you have to stick with us to do it. That's just how it works. So I love you. I love you so very much. I'm going to wear my hot pink pantsuit and channel my inner bad bitch. My nails are red and not pink, but I will do it in the pink suit.
Have red, so red works too.
All right, I'll take it. It's whatever. You know what it is.
No, but that's huge, and I think that's important. And I think
needs Jesus. Yeah, don't I know it?
But what I think is the most kind of takeaway is no matter what people are going through, nothing is going to work unless you're willing to do the work. You gotta be willing to do. You gotta be willing to look at your nutrition. You gotta be willing to go move your body for 30 minutes. You gotta be willing, and it sucks.
Yeah,
it does, and it's not something that I particularly love to do all the time. But if you want to feel better, if you want to get healthy, those are the things that you got to do. And that's what people are going to take away from your book as well, is that it obviously wasn't a overnight cure or fix, and it never is. It's a constant daily reprieve that you have to go through and do every day to be the best wife, mother, sister, spouse, whatever it is that you are, businesswoman, etc., to the world. So I mean, I know for sure usually when you're in the most pain, that's when you tend to reach out and try to get well.
Yeah, and you have to, right? You know, I know with you, like with your Sunday workout, I think that when the first time we ever talked, like I told you how much that meant to me, like, and how big of a deal that was, because people of your stature, you know, I think that they try really, really hard to show up the best in the words. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, the saddest part is words aren't always enough, and you doing the workout that you're doing and all of those things like that's the difference maker. That's the difference maker. You're showing up by your actions, and when people like you show up with your actions like that, that's why people follow you, because they need accountability and they see that, oh god damn it, she's doing it again. Oh, okay, she's doing it again. Oh, there she goes. And you make it look easy. And I know it sucks, but you make it look easy, and just keep doing what you're doing, because you make an impact every single time you show up for yourself. Other people see that and make themselves want to show up for them. You matter.
Likewise. Well, guys, on that note, get Kelsey's book. Tune in to Pierce tonight. She will be there just doing her thing. And this is where it's at. Grab yours today, because it is a beautiful, beautiful book. And I'm extremely proud to know you and to have read this before anybody else has. But to have it actually tangible in your hand, where it's like, this is done. This is fully it. It's your thing. And
the 10 spelling errors and all. I appreciate you, babe. Thanks for giving me the space to do this. I love you, and I'll text you after. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Mwah.
Bye, beautiful.
Bye.